Alright, so today we're going to be talking about randomized block experiments. When researchers want to reduce experimental error, one method they could use is through randomized block experiments. This method stems from the blocking principle. The blocking technique is used to control nuisance factors. A nuisance factor is a factor that may vary the results, but their influences might not be important to the case of the experimenter. The researcher can separate a group into blocks, where each group is subjected to a treatment condition. It usually contains one factor variable that is of primary interest and is known and controllable. This method is beneficial as it can produce a better estimate of treatment results with reduced error. A simple scenario to visualize this would be if a researcher trying to determine what environment is best for studying for a test: a bedroom, a classroom, or a cafeteria. With three variables, this means three different groups of test subjects selected at complete random. What would make this a randomized block design would be incorporating a hypothesis stating that women do better studying in bed and men do better studying in a classroom. For this hypothesis, I would need to organize the subjects not randomly, but in specific blocks where this hypothesis can be tested. In this example, gender would be a blocking variable. Once the groups are separated, in this case male and female, they would then be randomly subjected to a study environment, and the results would compare male and female, as well as what environment is more productive for study. Since gender is expected to influence the result, it is considered the blocking variable. So here you can see the block experiment process in this basic example. 30 students, split 50-50, male and female, are randomly placed in the three scenarios, and the results of this are compared, not only to find the preferred study area, but how gender might affect this. Alright, let's discuss a practical example, engineering example, where this method of experimental process can be utilized. Let's take a water treatment facility located in the middle of so let's say this treatment facility is located in the middle of a city. As a researcher, I am curious to know if the chlorine concentration levels are diminishing the farther away the tanks are from the treatment facility. For this example, we need to discuss the nuisance factor. For this example, the nuisance factor would be that each tank holds and processes water differently, and this changes when the temperature exceeds 90 degrees Fahrenheit. To create an ideal condition for the experiment, all tanks must be operating simultaneously and under similar conditions to reduce the nuisance factor. On the bottom right is an example of a graph as to what we might see the chlorine levels. Here is what a table of values would look like that could then be analyzed, as well as a systematic block diagram depicting the randomized block experimental process. A key thing to note is how one group is controlled while the other is experimental. Both are being subject to similar conditions, except for one tank is analyzed at a higher temperature. So we see one of the biggest benefits of this method is that it can reduce random errors on all possible variables except the controlled treatment variables. Due to this, it can produce a better estimate of the treatment effects, therefore increasing the precision of the study. There is no interaction between treatments and blocks. Engineers find this particularly point useful as they can lower or even eliminate any variances in the experimental process. Thank you.